Hi, I'm Inanna. Let's explore how to build a world. In TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
So you have your two lodestone magnets, you have a moon machine, you have alloy balls, okay? These are the starter pack for the earth realm, okay? In order for you to form an earth, you need these things. You need the two lodestone magnets representing the north and the south polarity. You need a moon machine and you need to form alloy balls, okay? In order for you to create the realm. Let me demonstrate how this works. So imagine you have the vastness of outer space, which is comprised of water, melanin, and all of the periodic table of elements, right? You take the two lodestone magnets, which are opposite magnets, right? You have an alignment of the alloy balls kind of surrounding the top portion because they're going to be arranged in the 196 squares, or you basically put the alloy balls around these two magnets, right? Because when you get ready to pull them apart, they're going to spread out because they're going to be a very tight numerical system. But you preform those balls, those alloy balls around the magnets so that when you spread the two lodestone magnets out, they would just automatically kind of spread into the grid that you've already pre-mapped the mathematics for. And in the center, you would have that moon machine projector system already built and ready to go. It's in an alloy ball already that's going to be able to stick to the magnetic sphere, just like the alloy ball stars. The God beings would then take those two lodestone magnets and the alloy balls that are arranged around them in 196 squares in a certain formation that they automatically form, okay? And the moon machine at the center of that, and they would slowly pull these magnets apart within this vast ocean of outer space that has melanin, the periodic table of elements, as well as water. Okay. Now, as these magnets are separating, it causes a paramagnetic bubble to form. Okay. And this paramagnetic bubble is going to have oxygen once you pull it apart within this vast ocean of outer space. So it's being pulled apart, the oxygen is forming within the bubble, and there are several processes that are happening all at once. Let's go through them. Once those lodestone magnets get pulled apart, it begins to form a bubble, and all of the periodic table of elements, the melanin, and the water that existed in the primordial waters of outer space, so to speak, starts to engage with this paramagnetic bubble. So the first thing that happens is that there is osmium out here. Once the osmium meets the oxygen that is forming in the paramagnetic bubble, it begins to burn and form a crystal dome in the center. It's just kind of automatically happening. So the star system pulls apart, it kind of spreads out as this is all happening, and it maps out the 196 squares or grid of light. The moon machine takes its place. The osmium that is in the soil begins to meet the oxygen and burn, and this in turn creates the process of osmosis, which creates a crystal formed structure, which we call the firmament, and it separates the waters from the waters. Okay, so you have the magnetic sphere, which is here. This is the outer sphere that of energy or toroidal field that is created between the two magnets. You have the star system, which is automatically formed, and it kind of spreads out as these two magnets go further apart. And then you have the osmium that existed within the periodic table of elements meeting the oxygen. It's burning now, and it creates a crystal dome structure, which is osmium tetroxide, OSO4. And that is what causes the firmament to form. And this firmament separates the waters from the waters. Okay, so you have a clear water that is already filtered right here, and you have the other waters outside of here, this is what you would consider to be outer space. It's a water that has melanin. Now, what's also happening after this dome is formed is between the two magnets, you have a vortex energy that is naturally forming. It's like a toroidal energy that's kind of going in a dipolar direction on both sides. This is making this environment in and of itself magnetic, okay? And it's creating something that is called magnetic resonance, all right? And within this paramagnetic bubble, you have these particles, which are comprised of the elements from the primordial waters of outer space. And this is what comprise all matter, okay? So think of it this way. There's a vortex creating the magnetic resonance, and this makes the environment itself magnetic. As the magnets are being pulled apart, what naturally happens is the melanin from the outer water sphere begins to automatically attract towards the magnets because melanin has free radical energy, and that free radical energy is attracted to magnets. Okay, so naturally the melanin within the water just kind of sifted and separated itself out and formed a ball on either side. It also met the oxygen that was in the paramagnetic bubble, and then it sparked this sun. So the oxygen met the melanin and just kind of poof, caught on fire, and then you have the two suns, at one at the top and one at the bottom. You also have the periodic table of elements, which is all your dirt, which is everything that the ground or the layers are comprised of, the tectonic plates of Earth realm that kind of smush into the middle. So the two suns separate and are filtered from the other waters, and you have some water that's left behind. This is all your lakes and oceans within the Earth realm, as well as the periodic table of elements that existed within this vast raw ocean begins to be sifted out, and it kind of just smushes towards the middle. So think of it as like a pulling apart, and then all of the elements just kind of separating and going here, including the water. And then you have that vortex in the middle that's creating a magnetic environment, which is what you call your G-force, or you call centrifugal force, because it's a spinning process. The two suns are going in an 8 formation right around here. They're just kind of moving because the vortex energy is causing them to spin, and they're doing this figure 8 like right here. This is how you simulate your day and your night, and this is how time is created. Now, as I stated, within the center of that Earth sphere, you have a moon machine that was pre-created. This is a machine that I received within a dream, the specs and how to outline it and draw it and how it operates. Okay, so this particular machine acts in dual function. It is a projector, a light projector, and it's comprised of xenon, which is a luminiferous element, as well as vanadium dioxide, which is a memory retaining element. Okay, so this machine acts as a projector of light. You have 12 gates of light here, and on each of those gates you have a cap, and it only allows out a 30-degree angle within a slice of a 360-degree circle. So you have 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, all the way down, and it's all going in different directions in a 360-degree circle. Now, here's a more technical model that kind of outlines exactly how all of this looks on a technical level. You have your two lodestone magnets, you have your sun here, and there's also the same as above, so below. Then you have your star system mapping here, and the moon machine is kind of here, and those 12 gates of light are shining out onto those alloy balls at various 30-degree angles and directions, which is also explaining the vortex itself is moving the sphere because it's attached, the alloy balls attached to the magnetic sphere, as well as the alloy ball that the moon machine is housed in is attached to the magnetic sphere. And this is how you get your moon phases, because that vortex that is naturally formed within the paramagnetic bubble is moving and spinning like this. So it's moving in a circular direction, and this is how you get your moon phases, because the vortex is basically spinning this ball. So the moon tends to spin around, and it shines its light out as it's going from the different 12 gates of light, creating this very complex grid of 196 squares, which is comprised of polyominoes and heptaominoes. And that's just a fancy way of saying different light angles, or this light grid, okay, in the mathematics that I explained. And this light, or this false light, or the lesser light, as the Bible explains, is what is carving out all of the simulation. It's marking out all of the light bodies. It's creating us and our outline so that the dust from the ground in this magnetic environment will cleave onto those light angles. This is what you call paramagnetic particles, okay? Because of the magnetism, it makes the particles paramagnetic. This is the moon machine mechanics. And basically you have 12 30-degree angles of light, which is for the signs, seasons, days, and years, as the Bible explained. And each of those caps on the 12 gates of light are shining out at various 30-degree angles. It has a luminiferous xenon material within it that creates this false light that shines onto the alloy balls. So this machine has a dual function. Not only is it doing that, but it's also storing reincarnation information through the vanadium dioxide smart
element that exists within the machine. So, as I stated before, melanin is attracted to magnets because it has free radical energy and it is paramagnetic. Your soul or your photon light body comes out of its skin suit, it goes into one of the lights, don't go into the light, right? And it's drawn into the machine. It then reads the smart glass and it gets pinged, as you saw in that diagram that I created, which has like an 8 formation. This is why the Lions Gate is so important, and it's on the date of 8/8, which is actually October 8th, because of the shape of the machine and what time frame you're able to actually jump into this portal to download your Akashic records. And your Akashic records exist within this machine because it's held within the smart glass. Every time you send your photon light energy into this machine, you can read that information genetically so that you can find a DNA or a bloodline that you can come back down into.